in Southern California are getting help now, finally, from Mother Nature in their fight against those large wildfires. ABC News is reporting at least 12,000 homes and businesses, though, have been damaged or just destroyed, leveled, as you can see by these fires, which are only 31 and 65% contained. That is progress, though. Los Angeles officials are warning, however, those Santa Ana winds that eased up this week are expected to return next week. And as firefighters and first responders rush to contain those fires, California officials are facing their own battles. This week on Full Circle Florida, I spoke with best-selling author Betsy Allen Manning, and tonight she's sharing what leaders in Florida, Republican and Democrat, can learn from this crisis. Betsy, thank you for joining me. You know, we're all watching this sort of play out in real time all over the country, and the mistakes that clearly have been made before the fire, during the fire, and hopefully not after the fires. What kind of mistakes have you seen the leaders of California make, from the mayor to the governor, in the days and the months that led up to this disaster, and even managing it during the disaster?
Yeah, leading up to the fires, one of the biggest missteps that we've seen is a lack of preparation. California leaders knew that wildfires are an annual threat, yet we saw little underinvestment in fire mitigation strategies. Known risks require proactive solutions. Wildfires are a known risk in California, just as hurricanes are in Florida, just as market shifts and supply chain disruptions are in businesses. Prevention today avoids disasters tomorrow, and reactive costs are far higher than those preventative ones. After the fire, oh my gosh, the messaging was just smoke and mirrors. Instead of clear, solution-focused communication, leaders deflected the blame to, utility companies, climate change, even federal policies. And while some of those factors could have played a role, as a leader, you need to own the crisis.
Is this a wake-up call for all leaders across this country when it comes to being prepared for a disaster? Because whether you live out west and you deal with the fires, or you live out east and you deal with hurricanes and other kinds of disasters, you got to be ready.
We have tornadoes here in Dallas, Texas, so a crisis is the ultimate leadership test. Leaders everywhere need to see this as a reminder that it's not if, but when disaster strikes, they need to step up with accountability, prepare in advance, communicate clearly, act with empathy. At Destination Workplace, we say a crisis defines a leader. So if you're stepping up and taking responsibility and providing solutions, it could make your career.
Do you think this disaster will lead to major changes in California in terms of the leadership structure there? Could this create a political upheaval in a state that has pretty much been dominated by one party? And I should say, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or Democrat. If you are perceived as being weak during a disaster, it's hard to recover from that.
Yeah, every crisis creates an opportunity for change. So disasters like this often lead to a political shift because they magnify leadership failures. If people don't deliver during a crisis, voters start looking elsewhere. Same thing happens in the workplace, that's where I'm at the majority of the time. If a leader doesn't handle a crisis well, employees go elsewhere. And at the end of the day, people want leaders who solve problems, not point fingers.
I just wonder if this disaster has sort of made everyone a little bit more clear-minded about the kind of leaders they want in power, and that it has less to do with a political identity or a political party, and more to do whether you're incompetent or competent. And that's it, whether you're blue or red, Democrat, Republican.
Exactly. And a crisis is a leader's audition for trust. In those moments, those hard moments where a leader needs to step up, if you are perceived as incompetent, like you said, or weak, trust evaporates.
Betsy Allen Manning, thank you for your insight. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.